I am here, or why am I here to end this wonderful conference by giving an advertisement for the richest man in the world? Well, I've called my talk Amazon, a total supplier in Americans' lives. And I think the reason I was invited here, because you're talking about technology, and this company has used technology and also education and retail and also all other means like media, different things to combine all these forces together and actually become something which is like a total supplier. I have lived in the United States for 12 years. I just moved back here in August with my 8-year-old son, who just started in a Norwegian school. And I'm sorry to say that what he misses the most is Amazon. He's wondering why toys are so expensive in Norway, you know. So, but let me try to explain what this company is and why it's so important sort of to understand the world of technology right now. Let's see. There we go. This is the richest man in the world. His name is Jeff Bezos. In 1994, he founded Amazon in his garage in Seattle on the west coast of the United States because he thought that he wanted to start selling products online, and he wanted to start with books. He decided that was an easy thing to sell. The first books he drove out himself from his garage. He sold them around the local area on the west coast of the United States. Today, Jeff Bezos, he just about a year and a half ago became the richest man in the world. His company, Amazon, now has around almost 600,000 employees and an enormous market share in retail in the United States. And Jeff Bezos really is the reason why online shopping has taken off the way it has in the world. Here, what we're going to see in the coming years is that the new expansion strategy for this company now is to move more into international markets. And I have just read that they are planning to see when they can really set up an operation here in Norway where logistics is more expensive. But because logistics is the big source of this, the most important thing for this company. This is the chart that shows how big Amazon has become in the United States. This is the top 10 US companies in terms of the share of retail in the US market. And Amazon's at 49% of online retail, which is enormous and is beating everybody else. Even eBay, which you might be familiar with, only has 6.6%. And this is from this year. Amazon grew at an astonishing rate last year. It had a 31% increase in its sales from 2016 to 2017. It's expanding around the United States by building these enormous, they call them fulfillment centers. I think we have a picture of one of those coming up here. This is what it looks like. This is probably why they're making so much money. These fulfillment centers where people are working to put things into the boxes that are sent around to Americans and also to people around the world. And not to only advertise for this company, Amazon also has gotten a lot of criticism for the wages it pays and also for the hours that the people in these centers work. They don't have a lot of breaks. One guy was in a documentary recently saying that he had to wear a diaper because he didn't have time to go to the bathroom while he was working there. But these centers are the most important new employers in many parts of the United States right now. If something like this moves into your community, you might get 10,000 new jobs. And Amazon is also building a headquarters in somewhere on the East Coast, maybe around the Washington, D.C. area, which is probably going to make housing prices, wherever it settles, go up by 5 to 10%. So that's how big this company is. So people here, they have a very advanced system in where they keep their goods to make it very, very quick to move them into the boxes. And logistics, of course, is the heart of this operation. But looking at boxes is not that fun. The most interesting thing and why Amazon has become so important in society is all the different things it has created. Because it's not just about selling books online anymore. What I miss the most is what you see in the middle there. Amazon Prime is a service that Amazon started a few years ago. You pay $100 for a year, and you get free shipping of everything, almost everything you buy, or most things you buy. It costs nothing to have it shipped to your door, and it gets there in 2 days if you live in a major urban area. If you have that membership with Amazon Prime, you also have what you see up in the corner there, Amazon Prime Instant Video, which is the Amazon Studios company that Jeff Bezos founded in 2010, which makes movies and TV series and is a streaming competitor with Netflix. They also have Amazon Music, which is a streaming service just like Spotify or Apple Music. And Prime Now, down in the corner, is another delivery service where you can get things like groceries delivered to your house in 2 hours in big cities like New York, Los Angeles, or Washington, D.C. And then, since there's lots of teachers, I think, in the room today, there's also Amazon Student, which, of course, gives students half off this annual fee for Amazon Prime. And they also have a number of other services for teachers and students, like something called school lists, where teachers can put together all the school supplies that their students will need, and they can get them all shipped from Amazon at a reduced rate, and parts of the profits will go back to the local school. There's also other ways of sharing, for instance, ebooks in the classroom through Amazon, and all this is available on the same website. You just have one login, and it's very, very easy to access. And this is the way they've been able to make so much money. In 2017, Amazon also bought Whole Foods, which is the biggest organic grocery store chain in the United States. And they're now also selling groceries online. So I started, before I left, doing a lot of my grocery shopping on Amazon. And you could put in an order at 10 o'clock at night. At 5 o'clock the next morning, your fresh fruit and meat and everything would be outside. So this is what it looks like, Amazon Fresh. So now I'm sounding like I'm just advertising. But there's more. This is Amazon Studios. This is like Netflix, and you can get... they also make a lot of content. They just won Golden Globe Awards for a show called The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which is just one of the shows and movies that they've been awarded the prizes for. They won Oscars for a movie called Manchester by the Sea 2 years ago, which was made by Amazon Studios. So Jeff Bezos' plan is to move into every market and connect all this together. And media is a big part of that. And then in 2013, he also decided to do something else which surprised a lot of people when he bought the Washington Post, a newspaper that was really struggling in Washington. It had been family-owned, but it had had trouble making money. Jeff Bezos bought it, and in 2016, they made money for the first time in many years because he completely changed the newspaper, built a completely new newsroom, hired about 1,000 new journalists, and they just expanded the newsroom again. This has also made Jeff Bezos a major political operative. Donald Trump loves criticizing him and thinks that he's like part of the Democratic Party. The Washington Post has become much more edgy, and they're working themselves across the spectrum of all these different channels that Bezos has. So now you can also, if you get an Amazon Prime subscription, you can also get a cheaper Washington Post subscription, and you can link all this together. So if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you get a free subscription on the Washington Post online edition, and you can link everything together. So almost whatever you want to buy or do, you just have that one user account that you can use. Democracy dies in darkness is the slogan for the Washington Post, and that's kind of also the idea of Jeff Bezos, that he wanted to bring this paper out, make it a more investigative paper, more important in American politics. And he has succeeded doing that. And as I said, also with the help of Donald Trump and the huge interest right now in political news in the United States, this paper is making a profit for the first time because of its online readership. But there's more also coming in the future from this company. And I think that we will see a lot of this in Norway also in the coming years, that Amazon is trying to expand and make more use of the European market and establish these centers here too. Because the whole secret here is to make it as cheap as possible to ship goods around to customers as quickly as possible. My son was completely shocked when he tried to order something last week, and it was going to get here in the beginning of November. It's like, how many days? Like 40 days. No, I'm not going to get it, he said. This is EcoDot, which is part of the Alexa, is Amazon's virtual assistant. It's like it's a system you can use to order things. It's a speaker you can talk to and order things through. Another thing that it has set up. And then the latest thing, which has happened just in the last year actually, is this. This is a grocery store. Amazon has now created stores where you can buy groceries and also other things, and you don't have to use money. You just use your user account. You don't have to go through a cash register. When you go into the store, let me see if I have a picture of that. You just go into the store. You can either pick up your things from a locker that someone in the store already gathered your goods and put them inside this locker, or the goods inside the store, when you take them off the shelf, a camera will automatically scan them. So you don't have to check out, you don't have to talk to anybody, there's nobody really working there, it's all automatic, and you can just walk home with your groceries. And the most ironic thing is that the first thing Jeff Bezos started selling were books. And what he did, I don't know if any of you visited the United States in the 1990s. Did anyone go there? Do you remember the big bookstores? Did you go to big bookstores in New York or San Francisco? The huge American bookstore with coffee shops and 5 stories of books. That disappeared in like 5 years ago. All those bookstores started going bankrupt because of Amazon books, because everyone were buying all their books online. But lo and behold, last year, Amazon opened their own bookstore. This one, I think, is on the West Coast somewhere. We also have these now in Washington, D.C. This is a bookstore where you can also walk in. You can buy books, because mostly you would just want to sit at home and buy your books. But Amazon also wants to be in the community. They want to have a place to show their things. So this is a place people can go and buy books and show, and also see other products that Amazon sells. Talk to people. There's coffee shops there. Again, you don't have to use cash. You can just check out with you log into your Amazon account. Your credit card is already connected to that. And so there's lots of, it's very, very easy. But also very, very ironic, because this was kind of the thing that Amazon was doing, that really ran a lot of companies in the United States out of business. So is this all good, or is it mostly bad, or what is it? I don't know. I am often astonished by some of these entrepreneurs in the United States who just have kind of a limitless dream of what they want to achieve. Jeff Bezos has done everything from starting an online bookstore to trying to start now space tourism. He's involved in almost every aspect of life. But what has hit me, now having come back here, is how dependent you become on technology, on having all these things available for you, and that it's kind of what his genius has been, is to link all of these things together to create kind of a universe where you only have to have one user account and you can almost accomplish everything you need to do in your daily life. And I also see that in my own children. I have an 8-year-old and also an 18-year-old stepson who's grown up with this technology, that it becomes very difficult to imagine a world where you actually have to walk into a store and actually have money and actually buy something, or wait for something, or wait until a program is on TV. We'll see what happens in Norway, but it's definitely something that has transformed the United States, also in the field of education. Like I just mentioned, they're trying also to sort of sponsor schools and do advertisements to help schools buy more of their goods, and then they plow some of their profits back to the schools. So I just wanted to give you a little glimpse into one of the things that is really driving America right now, and we'll see what happens in Norway in the coming years if they're going to establish themselves with a major presence here as well. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful evening.